Hi, welcome back to the Courage to Be Loose Challenge. I'm excited to share with you some secrets that have taken me a long time to really hone in on that I think can help you get past this universal challenge we all face, getting tight when a match is close, playing it safe, etc. I really do believe this is where the rubber meets the road in terms of peak performance and playing your best. And again, this idea that even though we may be telling ourselves to go for our shots, our body tends to brace a lot of the time, right? It can brace on contact and hold back, and it's this repetitive pattern that we can all get stuck in. And so what I want to share with you today is the first kind of sort of backdrop to how to be looser in matches. And the concept is something I'm sure you've heard of before. Getting there is the key, which is acceptance. Learning to actually accept whatever's happening in the moment, to accept adrenaline in your body, to accept the fact that your feet are sort of, feel like they're in cement maybe at times. Your arm is sort of holding back on your shots. And of course, catching this feeling, this physiological energy in our body, activation, what we call arousal, is really important too. We have to be aware of it. We have to notice it. And like a finely tuned instrument, and as so many of the pros are, they are aware, delicately aware of how they feel at any moment. And they can work with that. They know how to kind of adjust. And so, but one of the keys, one of the big differences, between the best in the world and players who are aspiring to improve their game and be better, like yourself, I'm sure, is to really accept what's happening. Instead of thinking, oh no, this is bad, I got to get rid of this tension, now I got to cover it up, now I'm going to have to play safe and hold back and protect. So it's this idea of it's okay, been here before, and even smiling, smiling to yourself, smiling at the situation, finding a way to get perspective. It is a tennis match, and being able to come back to that. And it's accepting everything out there. It's accepting the, whatever's happening, the bad line calls, it's really hot, it's windy. It's very hard to do, I know. But the goal is to sort of to get better at being with what is happening. And if you cannot panic and get anxious that you're tight, that is a huge, huge step, and really the first step. Don't freak out because you got a little tension in your body, or you miss some returns or some volleys that normally you'd certainly make. Don't panic. Stay calm. Smile to yourself. The second tip I want to give you is to think of your tension on a dial from 0 to 10. 10 is the tightest match you've ever played. Think of Federer in his prime, or on his best day as about a 4, 3 or a 4. Not a 0, not a 1, not a 2, right? I played many of my matches at about a 6, probably about a 6, 6.5. Certainly tighter than I'd like, a lot of the time. And even just getting down to a 5 and remembering what that feels like. So what you do is you remember what a 5 or a 4 or a 3 for you feels like in practice. And you can then learn to visualize that feeling. But what I want you to do is start to become aware of your body when you're in practice. So you're going to hit, and I want you to kind of hit at a tight, at a tight level at like a 7, even an 8, and then drop it down to like a 3 and a 4. And just play with this. Go up and down a little bit on this dial so you can start to become more familiar with the feeling of being loose. So we're going to use this scaling approach, this dial, okay? And we're going to start tapping into your internal state. Okay, so the first tip is to accept whatever shows up in your matches, practice match or a tournament match, league match. Smile to yourself. And now in practice, you're going to start to get a little more familiar with what a 7, 8 feels like in terms of your tension on a forehand or backhand and serve. And then in matches, you're going to try to bring in that loose feeling that you've practiced, the 3 or a 4. And again, it's a visual, it's not a thought, okay? And those are the 2 things I want you to try. And then please feel free to, I'd love to hear from you how this worked for you, any questions you have, comments on how this acceptance and then remembering and visualizing the feeling of being loose with a dial. 3 or a 4, shoot for a 3 or 4 on the dial, okay? I'll see you next time.